One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Meet the New Wanderers Haven Twitch team. I'm Jeremy Hochhalter. I have been the Twitch team for the last 3.5 years or so, and now I'm lucky enough to introduce these fantastic folk that are on either side of myself. Let's go around and do introductions. Why don't we start with the first on the list, which is Beth. Tell us who you are and your socials.
I am Beth. I can be found on the
Hi,
socials.
Beth.
Oh, hi.
Are you down to clown, Beth?
Oh God, it starts. Just keep it going. Oh man. All right. I didn't think I was gonna start sweating this early in this whole stream, but I'm Beth. I am excited to be here, or at least I was. And you can find me on the socials at Beth Masco. The link is under me. I am hoping to tweet more about things, so it might be worth following at some point. But I'm really excited to, have this chat with everybody and get to, know the deal here.
Nice, nice. Well, glad to have you on board. Let's move over to Kevin then. And sorry, before we start, I can realize I've been out in the sun today. And I don't know if you all can notice this, but I keep looking at the mirror or at the screen and I'm like, wow, I got some sun today. Look at all of you. You're so not burnt.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm a ginger. I have two settings. I'm gonna be paper white or lobster red. It's totally cool. It's
Sorry.
totally cool.
It distracted me.
Good.
I apologize. Kevin, tell us about yourself.
So now I'm all self-conscious. I'm gonna hide. Yeah, I'm Kevin, and I'm found online at the socials at KevRan Games, Twitter, Instagram, someplace else. Who knows? Who knows where I may lie? I'm like the shadow who knows everything. I'm not down to clown like Beth, but I am down to have a good time and to be here. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I've done some other stuff on Wanderers Haven. I currently play Commander Idan Rawl on the Star Trek Adventures game. I missed last week because I was super sick, which I'm getting over now. Upper respiratory infection, which was bad news, but I'm okay now. Hopefully. And my first thing was High Harvest Tide, which was awesome. We got to fight food that was trying to eat us.
Right.
That was a good time. I had a fun blast with that, and we have some other stuff coming up, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
got plenty of time.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's a blast. So
nice.
Hi.
And I met you because you were doing Game Night Heroes.
Yeah, yes. Game Night Heroes, which is an audio podcast that I kind of pseudo do right now. It's going to be coming to an end soon in terms of like releases and stuff, but some of that old content is going to find its way here. We might talk about that a little bit later too. Who knows what we'll get to?
Yeah.
And if we don't, always leave the audience wanting more.
That's right. For next time.
That's
and
it.
And last but not least, on the far end, Miko, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am Miko. I don't know any of you people, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right?
I know, you're in the wrong stream. Can you get out of here, please?
This is what you get for losing that bet.
Yeah, this must be the Twitch guest star thing malfunctioning or something. Hi, I'm Miko. I am the OKSGM, the _OKS_GM on the socials, and I'm an OKGM. And I play games, run games, create games.
True. Oh wait.
Do all kinds of things now into the producing of things, and looking forward to doing more of that over here on Wanderers Haven.
Yay! So, speaking of your handle of the OKSGM, I think the first question that the audience and myself needs: why are you the okayest? Where did that come from?
Okay, so I have been gaming for almost 35 years now, and I've been GMing for almost that entire time. I started GMing within a few months of being introduced to TTRPGs, and I consider myself an okay GM because I know my limitations, I know what I'm good at, but I also fuck up all the time. I make mistakes plenty. I have learned to accept that, and I honestly think that's one of the things that makes me a better GM than most people, because I know a lot of GMs out there that don't own up to their mistakes. And I got into these philosophical discussions about what GMing was like with my wife when she and I met, who had never played TTRPGs before. And when we were gearing up for her first ever game of D&D, we kind of got into the discussion of GMing and all of that. And so, as a gift to me for introducing her to TTRPGs, oops, she got me a T-shirt that says "World's Okayest GM."
Nice.
Instead of "World's Okayest Dad," it's "World's
Right.
Okayest GM."
Amazing.
So as soon as she got me that T-shirt, I immediately, and "World's Okayest GM" just kind of felt too long.
Yeah.
So I shortened it to the Okayest GM on Twitter.
Just own it. And besides,
Yeah.
if if we expand into the galaxy and the universe, it's already taken care of. You're already the moniker of the okayest. Like, you're the okayest. You don't need to change it to the universes or anything like that. Realities,
Right.
okayest.
Well, there's another okayest GM in the social media space, and
Poser.
he goes by "World's Okayest GM."
Okay.
And it's worth noting that his Twitter account was created well after mine.
And no foresight, no planning ahead, right there. Like,
Right.
didn't think about the expansion opportunities.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds to me that he's
Exactly.
got the world tied in there. You've already got the everything.
Right.
Right. So you're one step
Endless
ahead of it, man.
possibilities.
That's it. That's it.
So, how about we answer some other questions? I was going to say answer some questions, but I guess that's what we've been doing. Beth,
Do we have questions?
you're like the newest to RPGs, I feel like. What
Yes.
got you into RPGs, and how long have you been playing?
Well, I have been interested in RPGs for years now, but I don't know. I never bothered to explore until the pandemic hit, and that was definitely the catalyst for just finding a hobby that entertained me in any way, that I could connect with in any way, and it turned out to be tabletop role-playing games that have just completely shifted everything that I do on a daily basis. So that's fantastic.
Nice.
But I started off like a lot of folks have. I had watched some Critical Role. That was kind of an entry point for me into understanding the game. It made it a little bit less intimidating just to see other folks playing it, kind of just piecing together bits of the rules as I'm watching. So that way, when I finally was like, all right, I'm going to find a GM somewhere and join in a game, it didn't feel so overwhelming. So it wasn't long before I hopped into some streamed games, and I've been playing with Miko and with Kev for quite a while. And Jeremy, we've played together once, and
Right.
now we've had plenty of chats at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's been quick. So beginning of the pandemic, that's time now. Not quite 35 years is that, Miko? But I'll get there one day. 100 years old, rolling the dice.
Right?
God, I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I get to the point where I do, because I don't really have plans to be in like an old folks home or anything like that, but should I get to that point, I'm going to be that old guy running D&D games. If I have to sneak out of my room in the middle of the night or whatever it is,
Yeah.
I'm not stopping.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That's right.
I want to create an old folks home that is just that.
I
You
love
just
it.
I know,
play
right?
games
Gosh.
the whole time.
I love it.
I mean, that they're gonna have it. They've already got like D&D cruises.
right?
Right. D&D in
So
a
you-
castle and all these other things.
Right. That they're gonna have D&D in the retirement home.
I mean, I'm just waiting for, the Critical Role retirement home or the Matt Mercer retirement home or something like that. And
They'll still have great fucking hair, unlike some people, you know.
Hey,
But
you got to own it. I think you do. I think you own your your scalpness,
Your style.
Oh,
your style.
wow,
that's
Yeah.
better.
first time I've heard it called scalpness. That's clever. I like that. I like that. I like
You
that.
gotta own the fact that you've been descalped.
Oh,
That's it.
man.
That is it. Yikes.
Well, on that great note, Kevin, when did you start playing?
Oh my goodness, my goodness. It was not 35 years ago, because I'm 39. Oh, I'm 40 in June.
Almost,
Ooh.
almost there.
So old, so old. That explains the hair. Now we get it. It makes sense. No, but no, when I was in high school, I was about 15, and I was actually just reading a book that I had found at the library, and I came in sitting in class reading it, and there was a girl who was a friend of mine. We had taken martial arts classes together, and she was like, "Oh," she looked at the book. She goes, "Oh, do you play D&D?" And I'm like, "What's D&D?" And because the book I was reading was a Forgotten Realms tie-in novel. I had no
Nice.
idea. I was just reading it because it was cool. So she ended up actually inviting me to her home, where I would play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekly with her two sisters, her mom, and her dad, who all
That is
played a
awesome.
family of elves that were on a quest to save their kidnapped mom. And
Nice.
I joined them. Her aunt ran the game, and it was awesome. This was back in AD&D, so yes, I know what THAC0 is. I still to this day can't tell you how to figure it out, but I know what it is. Um, and yeah, that was a riot. I was like a half drow thief kind of guy. Plot twist: I was the bastard son of the villain. I was actually sent to kill them all, but I joined them. It was a whole thing. But I did that for a couple of months,
They should make a
and
movie about this.
oh, I know, right?
You better contact somebody, whoever like produced the D&D movie, and be like, I got an idea for your next one.
That's it. That's it. And we're gonna have Vinny Diesel play him because I know he's got a long running half drow character
Right?
that he's been playing.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So, but yeah, no, I did that for about a little less than a year, and then the typical stuff. I got a car, I got a girlfriend, and I was like too busy for that. Went off to college, came back from college. A buddy of mine who I was meeting I used to do a lot of theater, and I was in a community theater play, and one guy I got talking with him, and he was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, come hang out with me and my buddies. We play Dungeons and Dragons." And I was like, "What?" And I got back into it. And like Miko was talking about, a few months later, I started doing the GMing, and I've been like a forever GM since basically 2002.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a blast. I've expanded to other games. It's not just D&D. There's lots of other stuff out there. But yeah, it's good times. It's good times.
Nice. And so, Miko, what we know that you've been playing for 35 years, but what got you
Yeah.
started, and what was your first game?
So my very first game was actually Top Secret,
Oh,
which
nice.
is very, very classic government spies sort of game. And it was introduced to me by my middle school world history teacher. And was freaking amazing. Like you want somebody that's a good GM, let them major in history,
Right.
because that was oof. And it was the perfect style of game for him too, because he was all into he grew up in the era of James Bond, and all of that popularity and whatnot. So it was a really cool game. It was there that I met one of my best friends who was a big avid D&D player. He got me into D&D, and then it just kind of snowballed from there, because I have played almost every game. I shouldn't say every game under the sun, because in the 2000s, since 3.5 and third edition and all of that, there's been an explosion of other games, not just D&D. We saw the emergence of one sheet games and all of that, and there's just too many to say that you've played them all anymore. But if it was a game that was published pre-2000, I probably played it. Because
Nice.
at that point, I was going to conventions all the time. I was playing tons of games in conventions. And, I've gone to a few conventions since then, but, real life catches up to you at some point and you just can't go to as many as you want to go to. And yeah, but like I've had extremely long running campaigns before. My longest was a 9-year campaign with the same characters except for one who bowed out, and then that slot kind of became a rotating slot. But the other 4 people in the group were core, same players, same characters. It was really cool. We took hiatuses, and I think that's the reason that we were able to keep it going, because
Yeah.
we were able to like put the campaign on pause and play like a one shot of Earth Dawn or something like that, and doing that kind of thing. I think it was really helpful to us keeping the group cohesion and the campaign cohesion and stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So from chat, GM Admiral, being Al, who runs Star Trek on Saturdays for us, asks, what are your favorite RPG systems and why? And so I know all of you have played other systems. I know, Beth, Kevin and Beth both started with D&D.
Oh yeah.
If different
Versions of it, yeah.
right?
Iterations, yeah.
Editions. I knew there was
Yes.
a word there. But what have you played since then that really sticks with you? And it can still be D&D. That's fine. Beth, start with you.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun trying new systems. So my list of games played is fairly short by comparison, but I didn't realize that this world existed, I guess. So I'm glad that I was able to get into something that opened the door to this just awesome world of role-playing games. Let's see, I've played Vaesen, which was a lot of fun.
Nice.
With Bleak Season running the game, so it was extra dark and spooky and really
Bleak
fun.
runs an amazing
Oh my
Vaesen game.
God.
I've played Vaesen with him 3 times now. He rocks at that game. Just want
Oh
to
yeah.
say. Just wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. And the one that I did, it was Edgar Allan Poe themed, and so we all, dressed up, and it was such a blast.
Nice.
I've done a few games with the Dragonbane system. Again, with Bleak, he's using that for his big expanded world. But I've also actually played, I think it was just a one shot of a Dragonbane game early on, and that was great. Gosh, what else have I played? Oh,
played Shiver.
Blade Runner. Yes, Shiver. Okay, so we played Shiver together.
Right.
That was really fun. I love that it is obviously cinematic,
Right.
but I thought it was just a really cool, fun way to tell a story, and I feel like that's a game that a lot of folks could get into. People who maybe
Totally.
aren't necessarily in the RPG scene, but I think being able to think of a game kind of like a movie makes it a little bit easier to get into playing a character.
Yeah.
So that's definitely fun. And then Kevin, I played the Action 12 cinema
Oh, nice.
game. That was
Yes,
really
yes,
fun
yes,
too.
yes.
Another very cinematic game, which I can't wait for. They had a Kickstarter and I got it. I keep buying like indie games and things, and I need to play them with more people. So hopefully we'll get some of that going here
Yeah.
on the channel.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to start playing my way through these.
I'm not saying that the channel exists for me to get a chance to play these games that I buy that
Yes, it
I
does.
wouldn't otherwise, but I'm not saying that's not why it exists either.
I'm not saying the
yeah.
channel's for gaming, but
Right. So, Kevin, what is your favorite system so far and why?
man, oh man. But yeah, I played a lot of D&D. I played every version of D&D other than first edition. 5th edition, I like 3, 3rd edition, 3.5, whatever. Lives in my bones. I could run that in my sleep because we ran it for so many years.
Right.
My favorite, I like Beth said, I like cinematic games that let you flex. It's not a lot of rules. I don't really like getting tied down on big giant rules discussions to take you out of the game for 20 minutes. But I like Mutants and Masterminds. I've played a ton of. I'm a huge superhero nerd, so we've played Mutants and Masterminds like crazy. I know Miko hates it, but I love it. And
I don't hate it. I just think there's better superhero games out there.
that probably it could be very true.
Looking at you, Masks.
Okay,
I
there we
just
go.
got
I've
Masks.
played
I'm
Masks, yeah.
excited.
No, Masks is phenomenal.
Nice.
I really dig the game Dread, which is a role-playing game, a horror role-playing game using a Jenga tower. It is super immersive and it is intensely awesome. I cannot get into how amazing that game is. Actually, if you want to have like all my favorite picks, you can actually go to. I did a recent thing with my buddy Michael Ross over at the RPG Academy and Lee Wanika from the Tabletop Journeys podcast. We did like a best of the best thing, and those are all my favorite games there. But if I had to pick, I like Star Trek Adventures.
Yeah,
Al
that's a good one.
runs that. That's awesome. We have a laugh at that.
Did you just
this
say
is
that
out there.
because you want to gain favor for the next
Well,
game?
I gotta get some. I gotta get some momentum thrown in there. I mean, I am the commander of our ship, so I have to make sure I am supporting. But system I love probably the most. I like Cortex a lot. Savage Worlds is a lot of fun, but my go-to is Fantasy Age.
Oh, nice.
I absolutely love it because it is fantasy. There's other ones like there's Modern Age and there's the Expanse role-playing game that uses it too. It's
I have that.
very cinematic, very like actiony. It's very descriptive. A lot of like free flow type stuff. That's what I love out of a game.
Nice.
So that's probably what I'm playing.
We'll have to get
Vampire the
that going.
Masquerade rocks. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows that. But yeah, there's so many. There's so many.
Right.
But if I had to pick one, it's probably gonna be Fantasy Age, honestly.
That's
I love
fair. That's fair.
All right, I need to throw another in there.
Yeah.
For the first time, I played 10 Candles, and that was a lot of fun. My friend Deb, who some of you know now, is super great. She ran the game for a group of friends, and it was a lot of fun, but also emotionally devastating. So if you're into that,
Right.
I highly recommend 10 Candles.
I haven't. So I have it, but I
yeah.
haven't got to play it. But I feel like,
Oh my god.
I mean, unless you're just kind of, goofing off the entire time, I can't see that a game about not
Dying.
winning, essentially about losing
Yeah.
and dying, has to be at least somewhat emotionally devastating,
It
You would
is.
think.
right?
Yeah, and it was fun because the group that I played with, they weren't afraid to role play.
Nice.
I know, especially when you're kind of leaning into subjects that are, like death is sad. It's upsetting and whatever. So I think it's tough for some folks to lean into that, but oh man, we leaned into it. And after the game ended and we finally like turned the lights on, and there was a stretch of time where we all just kind of sat there, just like decompressing for a moment, and then we're like,
Right.
okay, well, who wants snacks? But yeah, that's definitely a fun one if you've got a group that's willing to try to tell a really lovely story, frankly, about kind of pushing as far as you can till the end.
Yeah.
Hey
Nice.
Beth,
I'm a
you
short
done
list.
you done messed up. You just mentioned that Deb runs games, so you know what that means now.
snap.
Oh
That
no.
Deb's gonna have to run a game for me on the channel now.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so
Is this Deb, my
Deb,
friend from New Varden? Is this
it is
Uh-huh.
Deb, your friend from New of Arden. So Deb, I would like
Apologize to Deb now.
formally apologize for all the internet to hear. My bad.
I'm not
Didn't
sorry.
realize.
Come on.
None of the
Sorry,
rest
not
of us are sorry.
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, she'd be great at it because she's got such
She would.
an incredible imagination and she's such a good storyteller.
She's amazing.
So
I
Yeah,
love
she's
her.
so nice. Honestly, she's like super fun to be around. Deb's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Deb.
Nice.
Love you, Deb.
oh man,
She's like, what the hell? That guy played with me like 3 times. What's
Right.
wrong with that guy?
I'm going to get some text messages probably soon.
Good.
Deb's actually
Oh,
got a message
man.
from me floating around somewhere. I don't want to say anything, but look at your
Oh.
Discord. Deb. What? What was that? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. All
People
right.
know. People who know.
She's got to
So,
clear her
If you know,
schedule.
you know.
right.
Yeah.
So, Miko, it's your turn. What's your
Oh,
go-to RPG and why?
well, here's the thing.
Fatal. Oh,
My go-to RPG is not my favorite
Okay,
RPG.
that's fair.
Ooh.
So I say this as a preface, so people know the intensity by which I'm talking here. I have a tattoo of the D&D logo on my arm,
It's
right?
hardcore.
I wear D&D socks on the regular. I have a lot of D&D things. You can't see it right now, but there's a giant D20 behind my behind my green screen that I paid for ridiculous sum of money for just because it's a giant D&D logo D20. Uh, D&D is my go-to game. I've played it for almost all of the, time that I have been playing TTRPGs. Every edition, it doesn't matter. I've run them all, I've played them all, and I'm great, and I love them. I've read almost every Forgotten Realms novel that exists, and many of the Dragonlance novels, and all of the system setting novels. Like, I just love D&D, and I love most of the settings in D&D. But my favorite role-playing game ever was Earth Dawn. Earth
Which I have
Dawn,
never played.
right,
I
a
haven't
lot of
played it
people
either.
didn't play. That was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the
I've
reason
heard
that
of
it
but I
died.
haven't played it.
No, the reason that it died is because Earth Dawn came out when FASA was going under.
Gotcha.
And so it never got the credit that it deserved. There was a brief period of time where some people were saying this was going to be the D&D killer. But then FASA was getting sold and everybody thought D&D was going to go away too. So that was the low point for TTRPGs and people just kind of really declined in playing TTRPGs and Earth Dawn didn't make it. It still exists. Like there is new editions of Earth Dawn right now, but there's like problems with the copyright and who owns the copyright and who owns the rights to produce games. So
That's always messy.
there's multiple publishers that are competing, putting out competing editions of the game.
Wow, okay.
Oh no.
Yeah. So Earth Dawn has some problems, but original Earth Dawn was an amazing system. It was not overly complex. It could get complex if you wanted it to, but you didn't have to. It had really, really, really good built-in storytelling capabilities, like people that could support their storytelling with their dice rolls, or let their dice rolls help them do the storytelling, right?
Nice.
And like the different takes on the different species that existed and the classes that existed and just the whole premise of the world was really, really true to form, original for the time. Since Earth Dawn, there has been other systems and settings that have kind of done that same thing over. So I don't know if today's audience would revel in it as much as I did when it was introduced to me way, way, way back in the day. But some of my best games have been in Earth Dawn.
For the uninitiated, I guess, what's the deal with Earth Dawn?
As in like the setting.
Yeah.
So Earth Dawn is a post-apocalyptic game in a lot of ways, right? That the premise of Earth Dawn is that every age of the world ends when these creatures known as horrors come and ravage the world and wipe out all life. And then when life is completely wiped out, they die off because there is nothing left to sustain them. And because life finds a way, life comes back and that starts a new age, right? And people come back and then eventually the horrors come back. And so Earth Dawn is set in, and forgive me, I don't actually remember if it's the second or third because it has been more than a decade since I picked up a book. It's either the second or third age of the world, right? And the people that live in the world found a way to survive by building these sanctuaries and burying them in the earth, basically. Now, they weren't all buried underground. Like there's a group of elves in the game called blood elves that are not considered good, and for a long time you couldn't play a blood elf until a book came out that let you. But blood elves basically survive by building their cairn. Cairns are the sanctuaries, by building their cairn out of the forest that they lived in. And the only way that they did that was through blood magic that basically caused thorns to sprout from their bodies so that they are always in pain and agony.
Oh my
And
God.
because the horrors
It's so
basically
metal.
survive on causing pain and agony, they couldn't destroy blood elves because they were already in so much pain and agony it provided no sustenance for the horror.
Kevin, I
That
think you're wrong. I don't think
dark.
it's metal. I'm pretty sure it was like hip hop, R&B, rap. Because don't you remember that Two Live Crew song?
That's
Me
a
So
little out of
Thorny.
my scene. I'm gonna be honest.
Stop
I think
it.
what we're getting out of this conversation about Earth Dawn is one thing, and one thing very specific, and that is Earth Dawn coming soon to Wanderer's Haven.
Right?
I mean,
Run by
that sounds
Miko.
like a no-brainer right there,
Right?
man. That sounds badass as hell.
I
Okay.
would have to do some catching up, but
Here-
I would do it.
Well,
Here's a pitch.
yeah.
Play Earth Dawn, but like do like a short shot, like five sessions, but each session play with a different set of rules. From whichever publisher has, put out rules at that time. And just see what happens.
Hi,
Right.
I'm
No.
Beth. I'm a sadist.
You have time for that, right?
No.
That's-
Right? Yeah.
Oh
we're
yeah, I have
fine.
tons of
Yeah.
time for that. But anyway, so the people survived the horror destroying the world, but because the horrors didn't fully destroy the world, they didn't all go away, and so some horrors still exist as this intermediate era of the world is coming into fruition again, as like all of the sanctuaries are opening back up and people are coming back out into the world and that sort of thing. And fun little side note, if anyone has ever played Shadowrun, Shadowrun is the Fifth Age, and Earth Dawn is in the same world.
Oh,
Oh,
no
interesting.
kidding.
Ooh.
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yep.
I've been playing Shadowrun since 2nd edition, so
Yep.
Well, I
Earth
guess
Dawn
I
is
should say-
Earth Dawn is the fantasy precursor to
Huh.
Shadowrun.
Is it the
That's
same
cool.
system where you take out your entire collection of D6s and throw them?
No, thank God it was very
that is
different
why
systems.
I have, hang on,
Uh-oh.
just a bag of D6s,
I see a Crown
Yeah.
Royal bag.
right? Because it's the only bag large
The
enough,
classic.
right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of projects and being excited to run things for the channel, besides Earth Dawn, Miko, what are you looking forward to running?
Hide you right in there.
Right?
Uh,
Look at that
uh,
segue.
Thank you, Andrew's last save, for putting out this question, by the way. I
Thanks.
personally am looking forward to presenting. It's going to be in D&D for now. I have not let Wizards of the Coast off the hook for their shenanigans, and I am very much exploring the possibility of switching my primary system from D&D over to Cypher system from
Oh,
Money
yeah.
Cook Games, but that's a whole other discussion that we can have at a different time. But
Cypher
for
is
now,
what
it's going to
system?
be in D&D. And on May 31st, I will be launching a 8-part adventure for my homebrew world of Easterra, which is a homebrew setting that I've been working on for quite a number of years now, and have done a couple of streamed games for. Beth has graciously came on to be a co-author with me,
Nice.
and Kev has offered up some of his precious little time when he can afford it to give feedback to. And at some point, I'm going to be roping Jeremy into it too. Rest
Well,
assured.
I'm going to be playing in the
Ah.
first game, and I'm going to be playing in Arakoa.
Yeah, you're going to be
Aarakocra-
playing the
Right.
first
Oh,
Aarakocra
is your-
to ever be in the
Is your
world.
poll
Right.
over? Is your poll
Uh,
decided?
Yeah, the poll's over. It's an Aarakocra bard.
I
and
love everything
so-
about that.
And so,
Songbird.
Jeremy, you and I are going to have to sit down in the
Right.
coming weeks and discuss
With the internet, who
just
decided
how
this.
Yeah.
we're going to discuss just how Aarakocra fit into the world of Easterra.
That makes
I
sense.
love
I,
that.
like it.
Yeah, but I'm very proud of the work that I've done with Eastera, and I'm looking forward to telling more stories about it here. And if anyone is interested in any of the Eastera stuff, you can check out my go to my Twitter. There's a link in my Twitter bio for my link tree that has links to some of the stuff that I'm working on for Eastera that tells you a little bit about it, as well as to some of my homebrew content that I have for free up on D&D Beyond for anyone to use. You can see some of the other stuff that I have created. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, but you're also going to be playing one of my
I
subclasses
am. I was just
for
thinking
your
about
bard.
sharing. Wait, can I share your your
Yeah,
subclasses?
yeah,
Nice.
do it.
I
Do it.
will drop this into the links, but I'm going to be
Just drop the
playing
link tree down there.
the College of Legend.
Ooh,
Sweet.
I looked over
Yeah,
that
I'll,
one.
I,
Beautiful.
I'll go ahead and drop it in.
Mhm.
Just to,
Yeah, you can
just
do
to have it
that.
out
You
there.
should do that now.
Because I'm a mod.
Nice.
Because I'm a
Heyo.
mod.
So
All
are
right,
we
so-
Yeah.
teasing who all is playing in that? Because Jeremy said he's playing in that.
Yeah, so I can go ahead
I will
and
be
tease.
present as well.
Yeah. I can tease most of the
Ooh.
cast.
Oh yeah.
I've got these three lovely faces that are going to be on the stream for it. The aforementioned Deb
Yeah.
is going to be on it, and to be confirmed, but we have a tentative yes on it. Ya boy Big,
Ian's awesome.
Yeah.
Ian is going to be participating as well. So really looking forward to all of the storytelling for that.
Damn,
It's
that's a
going to
great
be
cast, Nico. That's a great cast. Oh.
yeah, it's a pretty solid cast, and I'm particularly intrigued by the game because it's going to be a foretelling. It's going to be a history, as a historical, like it's going to take place a couple of thousand years before the current date in the world, and it's going to be documenting some pretty interesting times in the history of Eastera. So really excited and looking
Cool.
forward to that.
Nice.
Miko,
And,
I've been putting together various multi-class characters to attempt. I haven't multi-classed
it.
before, and it's time.
Do it. Make it so. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm actually going to be making the currently unnamed bird person going to make their mini on Hero Forge on
Yeah.
Monday. So tune in
Cool.
at 3 p.m. I think Eastern is what I set
Yep.
for
Very
to watch
cool.
that. Kevin, what are you looking forward to as far as running stuff here on the channel?
Yes, we have so much great stuff coming up. First off, I'm going to be running something end of this month. It's on the 30th. We're doing Everyday Heroes, which is going to be the first of many games in the We Get to Play series that Jeremy has already started. I'm going to be helping out, running some stuff in there and doing some short shots. We're going to be doing those. And yeah, we're doing Everyday Heroes. It's a very unique premise. Everyday Heroes is a modern day game that uses the 5th edition system. No magic. These are just, spies and police officers and everything, or in our case, professional wrestlers who also are espionage agents.
Right.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh,
It's
man.
gonna be awesome as the 5 of them return to Suplex Island for a secret
Oh my
mission.
God.
It's gonna be pretty.
You know,
pretty
I was
baller. I'm excited for
waiting
it.
to hear that on the air. I just wanted to hear
There it
Suplex
is.
Island on the air, and it is everything that I thought it would be. I'm excited.
yes, yes. It's
Nice.
it's gonna be amazing. We got a great cast of some really cool people for that, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, I have some short shots coming up. We're gonna be the 4 of us are gonna decide. We haven't figured it out. That's why we're not fully announcing here. But we're gonna be doing a little one shot at the end of the month to kind of get you all our flavor. So I'll be running something with that. We're all gonna talk after this, figure that out, and we'll let you know
Nice.
soon. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some short shots, mini campaigns, and some stuff. We're going to be debuting those on Monday nights. Is that what I heard earlier? Is that what we all decided?
I think we're looking at Mondays for We Get to Play.
Okay. So yeah, that'll be starting up in May. We'll be doing those.
Nice.
So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. But that'll be like little mini campaigns, anywhere between 4 to 6 sessions or whatever. Having different people on, doing different stuff. A lot of them are going to be including the We Get to Plays, which are things like we were talking about earlier, stuff that we have on our shelves that we don't get to play. We're going to finally play them.
Right?
So I know there's going to be some Hollowed Earth Expedition. There's going to be some Firefly. There's going to
Yeah.
be some superhero stuff. There's going to be another session of Action 12 Cinema because I had such a blast playing it
Nice.
with Beth and my buddy Joe. It's awesome. So
The
yeah, we got a lot.
Expanse.
We can play The Expanse. I've never seen The Expanse, so I'm gonna bone up on that. I know Miko had an aneurysm
Oh
just now.
no.
I'm gonna bone up.
Wait,
I'm gonna watch
wait.
it
Do you
all,
mean you
and I'm
haven't
gonna
seen
run
the
an Expanse
RPG,
game.
or you haven't seen the show?
I have not seen the show.
Oh,
I know. I
Oh,
know.
ow!
But it uses the age system, fantasy age, modern age. It uses that
Nice.
system. So yeah, I'm gonna bone up on it, and I'm gonna figure it out, and we're gonna play that because
It's fun.
so you
everybody and
should
their
read. You
mom's like,
should read the books too,
okay, okay,
as well.
okay.
And know that when you do get around to watching the show and reading the books and all of that, that I, in a Star Wars game, created a character based on Amos.
Nice.
Is that the
And
the guy with the beard? He looks like
Yeah.
lumberjack kind of looking
uh,
guy.
I
No,
mean, yeah, yeah. And he's big, but he's not like huge. But the more important thing about Amos is that he has no moral center, and then he relies on other people that he knows to be better than him for his own morality. And when they're not around,
Moral
things happen.
compass.
Down, huh?
What's
Yep.
that?
I love everything about that. That's
Right?
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes. Well,
that
yeah.
was
So
that
we've
was a
locked.
huge inspiration for one of my favorite characters that I've ever played in a TTRPG.
I
So,
love that.
so Kevin, let me get this straight. You're going to read all of the books and watch the show to get ready to run it. So, coming in 2025,
Yeah, we'll have that ready tomorrow. Why not?
right?
Sleep? What's that?
Right.
No, we'll get
so
that hooked up.
even though it's not on this channel, I totally want to spread the word about
Oh.
Lanata Eterna.
Yeah, we
so
can bring that up. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you are really excited. I'm really excited to see it coming this Friday. So 3 days
Yeah.
from now, tell us about what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, let me break that down a little bit to be very brief. Recently I ran a very great game. It's a 5th edition setting called La Nata Eterna. It's a game that is from Italy. It's making its debut here in America. And some great guys over there have been like, hey, we like what you're doing. We want you to carry this over here. So I have been named the official, like there's a name tag somewhere, U.S. ambassador for the game of La Nata Eterna. It's a grimdark setting in a fantasy world of high fantasy with a grimdark setting where the sun set 161 years ago and has not risen again. So it's a dark, twisted, morbid land with crazy stuff going on. We have 3 awesome episodes that actually feature Beth and Miko, as well as some other players, Bleak, who we mentioned before, and Gainer, who is awesome as well, as they went on a quest that was a prequel to the actual canonized story of the game. So the
Nice.
stuff that they did affected the actual book that those who backed it on Kickstarter can. But starting this
awesome.
Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a game that is going to be continuing that and actually have canon elements of the story woven into it. Some of the characters on the stream will actually be featured in the actual published setting, so that's going to be really rad. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we're going to be continuing that for several months. Miko is going to be my producer on that, as well as some other stuff. And yeah, our first episode this Friday is going to have Beth and Miko coming back as their characters. Bleak's coming back, Gainer's coming back, and they're going to just make some discoveries in this dark world. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super rad. But yeah, you can find information about that at twitch.tv/La Nata Eterna, which is LANOTTEETERNA. Yeah, there's probably a link somewhere. I don't know how to do that, but it's a really, really cool game, really cool system. A lot of new rules, 15 new subclasses, new races, new magic items. One of the races is really cool. They're like made out of moon magic and stuff. It's pretty rad. It's a pretty rad game. I'm
Nice.
excited.
I'm excited to see it. I just want to make sure we got to talk about that tonight because I want to.
thank you
I'm
for
looking
that.
forward to
Appreciate
tuning in.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Beth, what are you excited to do here on the channel?
Everything.
Everything.
I'm excited about everything.
Good
no,
answer.
2024, Beth is going to own the channel. just
Right.
FYI.
I'm going to retire off
I'm
of
actually
just
going to
Get
own
like the fat
Twitch,
cash.
all of Twitch.
right.
Um,
Probably
too
good.
ambitious? I don't know, you guys. No, honestly, I'm
that might
very
be possible.
excited to learn more about producing. I have not produced a game before, but I will. and I'm going to need help doing it. And what better group of folks to help me learn all of these fun things than you fine folks? But I am actually really excited to learn all of that. I know, Miko, you've said that anyone who likes producing is lying to themselves. So I can't wait for all of you to watch the light fade from my eyes.
That's fair. That's fair. No.
No, as a bit of a control freak, I think it's going to be right up my alley. But there's so much that goes into these games, and I've had such fun playing them, and I'm so impressed by the work that goes into the production of these games that I want to learn everything that I can about it. So there's that. I'm excited that I get to play in the games that Kev and Miko were talking about. And then I hope to be running some games of my own, just like we had said. All of these games that I haven't played yet. I'm definitely a one-shot or short-shot person. So, but I've got a couple of games that I am hoping to send out there within the next month or so. So look out for those. But yeah, this is just going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Obviously, we enjoy chit-chatting together and discussing all things gaming and storytelling, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Nice. And
So Beth is in fact down to clown, as you just saw
Right.
from that description.
right.
You know what? I am.
Beth, you're going to be running that all Barbie one shot. Is that what I heard? We're going to play palaces.
No,
and
no, it's
princesses.
Barbie.
We're all Barbie characters. Is that what I heard?
BARDIE.
You know what? Keep talking, and we're gonna play.
I'm
a
here
Barbie
for it.
game.
I'm here for it.
You three are playing. I'm getting bleak on it.
Can I be,
find a way.
can I be Skipper instead of Barbie though? Can I do that?
You can be Skipper.
You know,
I'll allow
is there
that.
a Barbie RPG? Let's Google this.
There might be.
Absolutely. I'm
Well,
sure
there
I know
is.
there's palaces
There
and
is.
princesses where you play as princesses with different abilities and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a nice hack.
Barbie from the
what else is there?
multiverse.
You can get really crazy and do thirsty sword lesbians as Barbie. I don't know how that
Okay.
would fit.
I
But you could try
definitely
that.
want
Yes.
to play that game. That is on my short list of games to play.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I think you're hearing history being made right
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
I think so.
This is it. I mean,
I want that. As far as Barbie goes, I would like just to say to the audience that I mentioned that I watched the Barbie trailer the other day, and I was just shamed by these haters
there's no shame in your game.
who I guess
that
don't
is
know how to have fun.
100% not true.
She's
No, not
super
actually
exaggerating
shamed.
this, everybody.
I am. No, I saw the trailer and I thought it looked like fun, and they were giving me shit for it. So maybe we will play a
To
Barbie
be fair,
game.
to
Who
be fair,
knows?
while you were being given shit, I was like, "Oh, there's a trailer," and I looked at it, and then I was giggling about the Ken part at the end, and how they're all
So
beaching off
silly.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It-
I was.
It seems like it's a movie that knows it's kind of absurd, and
How you
I
gotta do
hope
it,
so.
Barbie,
Really
right?
appreciate
That's how you
that.
gotta do it?
I know. So, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna see it. I have to. I wasn't even a Barbie kid, but I'm gonna see this movie, and maybe it will inspire me to just make a glitter-infused game for all of us to play.
Nice. I
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to being on the end our end time, but there's a couple things I want to mention. One is we have talked about, and it hasn't come up yet, that we're going to aim to do a couple other types of streams. So maybe something that's getting the audience a little more involved, potentially some board game action, maybe some D&D Trivial Pursuit, if we can figure out how to make it work on a stream.
Yeah.
We do. I have been talking with John, who is in my Wednesday games. He really wants to run some King in the Castle, which is a video game that is Twitch based, or it can be played on Twitch. So there's those things coming in the future. Keep an eye out for that. And I feel like a great ending question is, who was your first character? Why don't we start with Kevin? Kevin, why don't you tell me who your first character was?
Well, I certainly hinted at this earlier. The very first character that I ever played was a second edition Dungeons and Dragons character,
Right.
so advanced D&D character. He was a thief with the monk kit. He was Chiang, who was a half drow, half basically for the equivalency, because I didn't know Forgotten Realms that much then, but it'd be the equivalency of like China. He basically was the bastard son of the dark elf Krager, who was after the family that I was partnered with in the game. Chiang specifically, the backstory was that he came from a long line of warriors that protected this village, and this dark elf had come to this village and had coveted this famous warrior's soon-to-be bride, which was the who ended up being the purpose of the game, the whole thing, and
The MacGuffin.
the MacGuffin, yeah. And so he had returned one day. I had a whole story. I'm not going to get into it all here, but very like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets Dark Elves. At least that's what in my head. That's what we think the characters are. But yeah, my dice rolling did not support that kind of.
It never does.
I think my favorite moment that we had in the game with him was we were going through a corridor once, and I stepped on something, and a spike came down the ceiling and shaved a bald strip through my head. So I had that for the rest of the game. That doesn't fit my really cool character portrait I drew, but that's how things go. But
Hey, but scars
he
are
was
cool.
That's right. That's
are.
right. But yeah, he was cool.
True.
He had like a cool, his father's best friend had trained him. He had been captured, and he had like a tattoo of like cobra fangs on his eye, all kinds of stuff. We could go into it in a longer date. Maybe Chiang will make an appearance again. Who knows?
I feel like I need to see character art of this fellow.
Oh, okay.
So you
I'll
should
put together a hero forged, and
Yeah.
we'll throw in a Wanderer's Haven. Just see.
Love
We'll
it.
see.
Nice.
Wait
We'll
a
see.
second. Wait a second. Pitch. We do a one shot with our first characters.
Oh,
I
fuck
could-
yes!
wait,
that would
wait.
be amazing.
So, at what point during the first characters, though? Because my first character's all sorts of fucked up by the end of his career, as kind of like
we'll have
Kevin's
to remake them. Yeah, up to a
Them
certain
in their
level.
prime. Them if we got to be as cool as we wanted them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have to remake them anyway because we're all pulling these characters from different settings and different systems.
That's
Right.
true.
So there's
Right.
gonna be some shenanigans already, and yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm,
Heck yeah.
I'm
All right,
pretty
cool.
sure I have the sheet still.
Yeah, if
Oh,
he were to be made
Oh,
now in
that's
fifth edition, he
awesome.
probably would be a shadow monk.
oh, nice.
So that can be maybe what we're. Yeah, I like this idea, Beth. I like it.
Just
Gonna
a
make
thought,
it happen.
you know.
No, we're gonna make
Who
it
knows?
happen.
Yes.
Who's gonna run it for us, though?
I mean,
Deb?
Beth has to.
Ooh. I have to, but I have a character.
True.
Oh, that's true. I guess it'll have
Deb?
to be Deb.
Deb,
Yeah.
come on, let's do it.
Wait a second. There are other people in this world. Don't put this on her yet. Maybe
Gonna
she
Bleak
will
do
want
it?
to.
Come on
play
over,
the
Bleak.
character.
But we can't get Leak
Yes.
Season to do it because that means we'll all die.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
That's-
he will
that is
relish.
true.
He will relish in the pain of destroying our favorite first characters.
Yeah.
So
We'll find somebody.
Oh,
We'll find
gosh.
somebody.
in this
Yeah.
game, who would be
Fine,
the
Matt Mercer. We will let you run a game
Fine.
for us. Quit asking.
Fine.
Jeez,
Call.
come on.
twist my arm? Fine. So Miko, who would you be playing if you were playing your first character in this game?
So, I mean, my very first character was again in that top secret game, and his name was Michael Robinson, which is my name because that was a requirement from my teacher, was that he didn't want everybody to like get confused about names and stuff. And we had people that came and went in the game over the course of the 3 semesters that we played, and so like he just made everybody play. They had to name their character themselves. You didn't have to play yourself, but the name had to be yourself. So my guy, he was a espionage investigator. So, think more along the lines of halfway between James Bond and halfway between Q.
Okay.
And
Nice.
that's more or less where he fit into the grand scheme of things. He could use a gun, but he would much rather blow you up with his watch grenade. Right?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That sort of thing. He was he was interesting. I'll say. I'm not sure if he could fit overly well in a fantasy setting. I imagine I could remake him into an artificer and come up with something for him. But
Well,
yeah,
so here's the really fun thing about that. I have this game that came out from Onyx Path Publishing last year called Legend Lore. That essentially,
Oh, really?
if you've ever seen the original D&D cartoon, where essentially the kids get pulled into the world, but they're obviously not from that world; they're from Earth.
Mhm.
It's very similar to that, and you can play anyone. So if your character is a
Nice.
robot from some sci-fi one, if you're playing Star Wars, you convert them over and you play them and being sucked into legend lore, and so we could make this
That's
happen.
cool.
I feel like we can make
Yeah.
this happen.
I love this.
'Cause see,
Sounds like it would be a good system
those
for this
new
purpose.
to the TTRPG space, you have to understand. About 20 years ago, there was like 2 systems, and everything was just a
Right.
hack with that. So everything was D&D or Call of Cthulhu.
Right. Or
And,
or Wizard or
hack from there.
World of Darkness. There was World of Darkness.
World of
yeah.
Darkness.
There was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I think Kev, you are forgetting just how old we are. You
Uh-huh.
need to add another decade to that before that statement
I'm
becomes
I'm
talking
glad
accurate.
you didn't say zero.
Extreme out there. I know you guys know, but
Because like the early 2000s, that's when we really saw the TTRPG resurgence, right? Like
yes, that's true.
a lot
That's
more
true.
games started to get made. You'd have to at least go back to 97, 96 to fall into that category when it was basically D&D, Call of Cthulhu, and World of Darkness.
Yeah.
And
Derp.
then there was like a dozen other like random systems that had followings, but they weren't really played that much. And I'm looking at you, GURPS.
Can you see?
Palladium.
Oh no, I moved them. They're over there. I was gonna say, can you see my GURPS collection from there? No.
Oh, man.
I played a lot of GURPS, man. GURPS Car Wars was fucking awesome. I spent so long making my car
Nice.
in GURPS Car Wars.
I was absolutely in love with the glitter boy from GURPS. That
Palladium.
yeah, from
Rip.
still
Rip.
Yeah.
to this day, I'm still trying to find like an amazing figure because they're always like just so. So the ones that they make, they're so stiff. It's just like he's holding like his cannon out and he's just standing straight up and down. I think I'm gonna need to figure out how to like make one in Blender or something. But Beth, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Beth. The main
Right.
joke I was making is it's not like today where there's literally a different system for every single game,
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, there's a
That
system
was
for
the main
everyone
joke I
and everything now.
Yeah. which is great. We're
It's
living in
awesome.
a renaissance right
Love it. I love
Yeah.
I love going up to people and being like, "Have you ever played TTRPGs?" And then being like, "Nah, I just don't think that there's anything that I would enjoy." And I'm like,
Right.
There
"Tell
it
me
is.
what you like."
Right.
Because I guarantee you, if you tell me what you like, I will find you a TTRPG
Totally.
that does that.
Which, going back to Cypher System, the last few Kickstarters that they've done, they have so many thematic books for their system. It is.
Yep.
You can find something for anyone just in that one system. So
That's why I'm contemplating Cypher, because I just backed their recent Kickstarter.
nice.
And I can't wait to see some of the books that they put out for
Yeah.
that.
It was
But
there
anyway,
was some
Beth.
interesting books in that one too. Tell us about your first character, Beth.
Yeah, my first character, it was D&D 5th edition, and she was a half-orc monk, and I remember when I was creating the character, I was just Googling, like, how do I make a character that's, like, okay? Like, not min-maxing, I didn't even know those terms at that point, but just, like, how do I make a character that's gonna do stuff? And I picked a monk because I was terrified of magic. At that point, I was like, this is too much. I'm just going to punch things, and that's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the backstory was so frail. It was just like she was a monk, like classic, like orphaned. She was at a monastery. Monastery got blown up or whatever. Joined an adventuring group. She balances her sort of like monk life with her deep-seated anger. Just, I mean, like, you name it.
There was a lot
The
of like
tropes
her
are there.
walking off into the dusk with like, dust
Yeah.
blowing by her and a theme song, and yeah.
Totally. At least that was my vision when I created her, and then as I played her, I can't help but just let all of myself just come through in these characters. And
So there's a lot of clowning
As you
around, is
should.
what you're saying?
As you should.
so much clowning around. I
Nice.
have to now. I'm a little bit more conscientious about how I create characters and how because I know that when I'm excited and I'm playing that this is just going to come out. So like, how can I make that work for a character in different settings?
Totally.
Yeah, but she was so cool. I had so much fun, making the Hero Forge minis and learning how to use D&D Beyond with the character. I learned how to use Roll20. Like just every bit of my D&D learning experience was with this character. So, and I think she only got to level 6 or 8, maybe. I mean, it wasn't very long before our group ended. But definitely great memories, and now I refuse to not have magic. So we've
And
come
what is her
so
name?
far.
This character?
Oh, her name was Valen. I realized over time I have a thing for characters that end their name in N or EN. So like my first 5 big characters that I played just had that sort of theme with their name.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about like potentially getting sponsors and stuff like that. I feel like fantasynamegenerators.com or whatever it is .org. I feel like they could be, or I should be their sponsor, something like that, because I'm just always over there. Gnome name, Eric Cochran name.
Fantasy name generator and then Google Translate.
Oh.
Because I'm a sucker for being like, okay, this is a storm themed character, and so like, what does lightning? What's lightning in different languages, or just like dumb shit like that. Usually, what I end up doing at this point is kind of like making a pun of the name, but then translating it so it's just for me. Nobody else has to know, but yeah. So love all of that.
So, Beth, if there's one other thing that you would like people to know about yourself, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I guess I like pizza. No,
what kind of pizza?
Oh, geez. Okay, so here's the thing. I live in a suburb of
Chicago. Or I'm leaving.
No, absolutely not. I live outside of Chicago. And so we have good pizza. And I'm not talking deep dish. That is a different pizza for a different day. We don't, if we're ordering pizza, we're not ordering deep dish. I have it maybe once a year. We just have good thin crust pizza. I like cheese. I like pepperoni. You can throw other things on it, but if I'm ordering a pizza, it's probably going to be a pepperoni pizza. Yeah, I don't know. Other things about me? I don't know, man. You sprung this question on me.
You have two amazing doggos.
I do have 2 amazing doggos.
What are
They're
they?
so cute. Well, I should call them up here, but you wouldn't be able to see them in the screen. So they're Henry is a giant golden doodle.
Nice.
Giant.
He's huge. He's like a really big boy. And he's so sweet. He's very fluffy right now. It's almost time for his like springtime shave, where I shave him down to like nothing, and he looks all ratty. And then my brother has a German Shepherd Husky mix, which is an insane mix of a dog, but he is the most beautiful dog ever.
Nice.
You know what? I'll throw some pics out on
I was about
Twitter.
to say, you know what? Everyone that has a pet on this stream right now, your post-stream homework is post a picture of your animal on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sending everyone there.
Unfortunately, I will run into Twitter's picture limit problem.
That's
you can only have
Nico.
4 pictures on your tweet, and I have too many for that.
My wife and I joke.
Send 600 tweets with 4 pictures each.
My wife and I joke because like there's probably 4 pictures of us on my phone, whereas there's like 1,500 pictures of my dog.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's how it goes. Yeah. So pets and pizza. That's my thing.
Pizza.
Nice. Kevin, wait. I think I got everyone on their first character, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Kevin, what is something that you would like to tell everyone about yourself?
Well, I don't know your first character, Jeremy, but maybe that's a tale for another time. But something about me. I'm gonna bring it into pets. I think we got to all talk about pets here for a second. But something about me. I have a son, Jason. He just turned 10. He
Awesome.
fucking rocks. He's my favorite person on this entire planet, and he keeps me guessing every moment of every day. And he literally is like got it all figured out, and it's crazy. He's so much more calmer and understanding and sympathetic and way better than me. It's amazing. I don't know how he did that because me and his mom are crazy. But anyway,
Well, now we find this out. Can he be on this channel instead?
you know what? I'm gonna tell you this.
Just kidding.
This is where the audience wants to vomit when I say this. He very briefly, about 3 years ago, toured with the idea of playing games with me. I played D&D a couple of times with him. He was super into it. He had a whole game where he got to play as Owen from Jurassic World, little Lego people. He
Fun.
loved it. And then he had some friends come over one night for a sleepover. 3 boys. We played D&D, and the one of them was like, "Yes, this is life," and the other one was like, "This is so stupid." And now my son won't play it again.
Aww.
Aw.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
But anyway, pets.
Yeah, that one who was like, "This is so dumb." He'll be like, one of these days he's gonna catch the fever, and then your son is gonna be all like, "I told you, now we get to play again."
Well, it was funny because there was 3 of them, and the 2 of them are the friends he had come over are twins. And it was funny because they were like a study of like every other game group I've ever played in. The one boy, no names here to protect the innocent, but the one boy was, like I said, he was very like, "Guys, this is serious. Pay attention. He's telling us a story. We need to be into this." He was super into it. He was playing really good. His twin brother was like, seriously, his character's name was Farty McPoopface.
Yep.
He like throwing rocks at the bad guys. He was not into it. And my son was just kind of in the middle, and he eventually just kind of went with the fun kid. So it was a very much a regular D&D group. It was hilarious. And
Yeah.
they were 10 years old at the time. But anyway, pets real quick. We have a whole veritable zoo over here. We have a whole bunch of fish. We've got 2 dogs and 3 cats. That's because when we moved here, some of our cats had to go away to live elsewhere. So we have a dog, one of which is a standard schnauzer named Reginald. Everybody who has seen me in Vason went, "Wait a minute," because yes, you're right. Also we have Layla, who is our old lady dog. She is a border collie lab mix, and she's beautiful. But Miko's got a friend ready.
Aw.
There are 3 cats. One is they're all the what they call domestic short hair, so they all look like they're related, even though they're not. One is Sam. He's our old fat man. He is named Sam after Samwise Gamgee.
Nice.
We have Ripley, who actually used to live outside and now lives with us. I don't know how that happened. She literally was a stray, although we think she was somebody's pet. And then we have our super wonder kitty, Maisie, who we named Maisie because I wanted to name her Arya, but after Game of Thrones Arya, but we went with Maisie because that's her real name. Maisie is amazing because she is still pseudo the size of a kitten, because when she was
Aw.
about 6 months old, she fell off the table and had a leg removed, and it stunted her growth.
Whoa.
But she is super spicy, super spunky. If she had 4 legs, I'd be terrified for the neighborhood. She's amazing. But yeah,
That was
that's
that
what
was karma making it safe for the rest of the world.
Right,
is what
right.
that was.
That's exactly it. But yeah, so it's a riot over here, my friends.
Nice. So Miko, first things first, who are you holding?
And yeah, I like pizza too.
Yes. Yes, I love pizza as well. Although if there are not mushrooms on my pizza, I don't love it as much.
I like mushrooms too. I don't get mushrooms here because my wife and son both hate them. I have one of those things going on. I love mushrooms. I'll eat them just by themselves.
So this adorable little fluff ball right here, her name is Crook, because and she's my old girl. She is turning 15 this year. And she was born in a barn, and when she was super tiny, she got her tail caught in something, and it broke. And so I'm not going to pick her up and show it because she's very sensitive about her tail and she doesn't like it touched. But her tail never grew past the break, so she has a stubby little tail with a tiny hook on the end of it. And so that's why her name is Crook, because she has a crooked little tail.
Aw.
But She's an absolute sweetheart. I can literally take this cat and put her into anyone's arms, and she will just love them. She will start purring with them, and she doesn't care who you are. If you have a heartbeat and are able to pet her, she loves you.
Prove it.
That's
Prove
that's
it,
that's all that.
Miko.
Right?
Well, I can't put her in your
Pass the
arms
kid.
right now, Beth. So
Oh,
because you're
man.
going to visit bleak season before you come and visit me. So
Wow. Okay.
Just
Well,
saying.
let's defuse that situation.
I gotta go.
Right. So, Miko, I don't want to force you into the talk about your pets question, but what would you like to tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a crazy cat lady. I have 5 cats right now. I have owned a cat literally every day I have breathed on this world. And so I love cats to death. I like dogs too, do not get me wrong. I've had dogs over the years too. We currently do not have a dog because we had an elderly dog that passed away not too long ago. And we're waiting for my 4-year-old son to get a little bit, or 3-year-old son to get a little bit older, so that he can help us pick our next doggo.
Nice.
Because it's really going to be his doggo. And so we're holding off on that. But I have 5 amazing cats. Crook, like I just mentioned. I have another cat named Galahad. He is a giant orange tabby, and when I say giant, the last time he was weighed in, which was when I still lived in Canada, he weighed 9.2 kilos. So I will let you U.S.
Right.
folks actually look up how much that is. It's big. He's a big boy, but he's not chonky. He's just big. But he is a sweetheart who's afraid of his own shadow.
I guessed about right. 20 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, right at. He's afraid of his own shadow sometimes. Like, nothing in this world could hurt him, but that apparently doesn't register in his mind. And then I have a black and white tuxedo cat whose name is Ptolemy Bartholomew McFurpants. He was my wife's first cat. She was not allowed to have cats, and was not really, super interested in cats until she met me. When I came into her life, I had 2 cats, and now she absolutely loves them. Oh, and by the way, she's also mildly allergic to cats, and so she takes medicine for us to have all of our cats. And I love her for that, because we got Ptolemy. Ptolemy is named after the Greek philosopher who thought that the universe revolved around the Earth, because the world apparently. Ptolemy apparently thinks the universe revolves around him.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I also have a sweet little chunky baby girl. She's not little anymore, and she's not a baby. She weighs. She actually just went to the U.S. vet, so her most recent weigh-in was 16.5 pounds. And she's a chunky little sweetheart. Her name is Rhea, who is Zeus's mother. And she's fierce. We'll just go with that.
Nice.
She's a fierce lady. And then I also have another girl named Mystery, who I don't know exactly how old she is, but we believe that she just turned 13 years old, because when I was moving out of Las Vegas, 2 days before I was supposed to move out of Las Vegas, this little tiny kitten, as I'm packing up my garage, this little tiny kitten walks into the garage covered in dirt and grime and just looks up at me and meows. And
Right.
yeah, I was in. She knew a sucker when she saw one.
Right.
She looked like, and I say this because I do consider myself an expert on cats. I know cats. She was the size of like a 7 or 8 week old kitten. Turns out she was approximately 9 months old based on her dental. She just was so malnourished she couldn't grow. Within 1 year, she grew to about 7.5 pounds, and now she's around between 11 and 12, depending upon what day it is. She's this beautiful seal point ragdoll mix.
That's awesome.
And has these amazing piercing blue eyes, and she's an absolute loving cuddle bug for me. She does love on my wife a little bit. She's not huge on strangers, but she's absolutely lovable. I named her Mystery because I have no idea where she came from, and I don't care. She's my mystery now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my menagerie of cats. What else about me? I love games. I play a lot of games, computer games, board games, tabletop games, you name it. I play a lot. At one point in my life, I was a big database engineering guy, but now I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I've never been more fulfilled than to be a stay-at-home dad and be a father to an amazing little boy that surprises me every single day.
That's awesome. And you liking games, that'll come in really handy here on the channel. So
yeah, it might.
Right?
It's a good thing. Be a shame if you didn't.
Favorite pizza topping? I mean, we have.
Right. So I'm gonna, I have to answer at least one question. So I'm going to say I usually have a menagerie, but the last 2 dogs that we've had have both been only children where they don't like other animals, and therefore we have a much smaller household. But Libby, who, if you look above me on the stream, the Wanderer's Haven logo is there, and that is a representation of me reading game books to Libby, who's over there.
Adorable.
She's actually right here, but
cute.
she's sacked out. But if you have caught, Through the Mist before on Wednesdays, I actually had a rule based on when she barks, somebody has to roll a D. Well, really a D whatever, and if they get odd, something bad happens, and if they get an even, something good happens. We called it Fickle Fate. Because she is rather fickle about what she barks at. So, yeah.
I love that.
Sounds like a sweetheart.
She is one of my familiars, my lifetime familiars. So
I feel that way about Mystery and Crook
right
as well. Also, why did you not invite me to cats?
I never thought about it.
Scandal.
That is a missed opportunity on your part,
Well,
sir.
all I'm saying is
you done effed up.
All I'm saying is that cats can be an ongoing thing on this channel because the Wednesday group is having so much fun with it. It's ridiculous.
I know. I saw part of it
Right?
last week, and I was like, "Why am I not on this show? This is like no brainer."
Well, it's really funny because I was like,
the
"Hey,
first and last time we've done this show."
It's funny because we were talking about you joining the group after Cats is over until the end of May. Why didn't I just throw you on Cats too?
Man.
Don't know, man. Don't know.
I don't have a good reason.
Expanded universe. Don't worry.
Right.
That's it.
Come in there.
Well, everyone's information has been shared in the chat. Please go follow all of these wonderful people that will be bringing you entertainment soon. If you were watching on YouTube later on, go check out the show notes because that same information is down below. Go check out on Friday. Go check out Kevin running some Lanata Turna on Lanata Turna's site or Twitch page and
Twitch stream.
Yeah, check that out because it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to check it out. Any parting words?
Yeah, thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. We love this, and we'll be doing stuff like this again, I'm sure, in the future.
It's true.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot to talk about as the weeks progress, I'm sure. So
next time, the 3 of us get to gang up on Jeremy and ask him all kinds of questions.
That's it. Between the roles.
What was that, Beth, about you saying this will be the last time?
Yep. First and last show.
Right, first and last. Well, it's good to all meet you all for the first and last time. All
Jeremy's like, you
right,
know what? Never mind, y'all.
right?
Take it down, Twitch.
I. It's so weird. Twitch's building burnt down. I don't know why.
Yeah, they flagged and banned my video, guys. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us live, everybody. We will see you at a stream soon. If you're watching live tomorrow, we'll be on Cats at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for part 2 of a two-parter, and then I don't think there's anything else until the following week. But we have some Index Card RPG coming up. We have Everyday Heroes coming up. Next month is Astera, so yeah, keep. Oh yeah, we've got more Star Trek coming up. There's lots of things in the works, so keep your eye out. Follow on the Twitter and all of the social medias and
Cool places.
Yeah, all the cool places, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.